always rise and give honor to the Most High Yah. His son, Yeshua, the true Messiah, always to all of y'all divine preachers in every place, preaching, teaching, living Yah's divine word. Always to beloved ministers that labor in this part of vineyard, whom I'm not ashamed to call brethren. Kodesh, greeting to them their respective places. Always to those that are watching in by way of live internet, to the dispersed, to the scattered, to the Jews first, and also to the Gentile. Kodesh, greeting to them their respective places. As we often say, last, never least, to the way of Yah synagogue.
Amen.
Proper honor you all in your respective places.
Amen.
Once again, from TV, internet, radio, wherever our voice can be heard, wherever we can be seen. Before we came on, had nothing come on. When we go off, absolutely ain't nothing else coming on. Been not teaching Kodesh, living a clean, sanctified life. The people ain't in nothing. And they hadn't heard nothing. This is an attempt to collect the debt. Whatever you hypocrite, false pretend, backbite, mumbling, grumble against will be used in that collection of a debt. These messages are always being recorded for quality assurance. They make sure no side deals get cut with nobody. But everybody got to come in, brother. Red, straight, narrow path. All right, give me the 12th chapter of the book of Ecclesiastes at verse 9. Okay. So y'all didn't want the fan on it? Down on right now? A little warm, mother. It's warm over there, mother. So it's a tad warm in there. Oh, you know, Mother Smith got that low blood. She fell out on you. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 at verse 9. Listen to the book.
And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge.
Yeah.
He gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
Listen.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright,
even
words of truth.
That's why we're here. Meanwhile, let's look at something. St. John chapter 3, at verse 1. His parables are kind of sayings, figuratively kind of speaking in a sense. Saying these parables in order. This is St. John chapter 3 at verse 1, speaking in a mystery. This is the 3rd chapter of the book of St. John. At verse 1, listen.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus.
What happened?
A ruler of the Jews.
What happened?
The same came to Jesus by night.
Yeah.
And said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God.
How?
For no man can do these miracles that thou doest,
except
God be with him.
Listen.
Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
Except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So you think this would have been in a parable sense to him? Listen.
Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old?
Yeah.
Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit.
What happens, son?
He cannot enter into the kingdom of God.
He cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Pick me up, if you would, at 1 Peter. I think is what I want. 1 Peter chapter 2 at verse 1. Except a man be born again, he cannot see. Then he talked about him entering into the kingdom of God. So we're talking about depth of perception. And we're talking about actually entering into. That's what we look to do at the end. We have to be able to behold it with our natural eyes. Listen to the book.
Wherefore, laying aside all malice.
Wherefore, doing what now?
Laying aside all malice.
What else, son?
And all guile.
All guile.
And all hypocrisies.
And what else, son?
And envies.
Yeah, and what else?
And all evil speaking.
Yeah.
As newborn babes.
Doing what?
Desire the sincere milk of the word.
That you might do what?
Grow thereby.
So you got to look at what Peter just told you have to lay aside. Who told us this as well? Hebrews. What chapter? 12th chapter. Real good, brother. Y'all doing real good tonight. That's exactly right. Laying aside. So in doing this, if you look, this is the part of a spiritual recreation for us. Because he said you got to lay all these things aside, right? If you look at the 3rd chapter, pick me up the 3rd chapter of the book of Ephesians. I'm sorry, the 3rd chapter. Yeah, Colossians chapter 3 verse 1. Now, he told you it's newborn babe. So look what you had to do in order for that to happen. Once you put all those things away, most of those things are your creation. Hypocrisy, malice, guile, envy, evil speaking. He said, as newborn babe, after you put all these things aside, once you separate, who we find is an example that laid some things aside? Who? Who was that? Abraham? Jacob? Who? What about Yeshua when he took his clothes off? The stuff that covered, he put them over to the side. Listen.
If ye then be risen with Christ,
Seek
those things which are above.
So if you've been risen with Christ, what we say you've done? Born again, exactly. We get that concept from where? Nicodemus. Where else we get that concept from? Acts. You sure? Somebody get punched in the stomach, Brother Chris. Everything you sure, exactly. Where else we get that from? Somebody risen. Well, risen with Christ. Where we get something similar with that? The baptism? Well, those are right answers. I think what I was kind of considering, we know we're talking about Christ the first fruits, afterward them that are his. Who told us about that? Paul. What chapter, Ryan, since you said it? You better be cheating, Ryan. What is it, Ryan? Huh? You said you don't know? I done stumped Ryan. That's a good one. Man, I done got real sharp around him. Now he all right, the 15th chapter of the book of 1 Corinthians. You had to go get it. But what we start talking about, Yeshua told us in the 12th chapter of the book of St. John, and what I was looking for. What he told us in the 12th chapter of the book of St. John? First word? Except. Do what? Now he got to finish. No, you let him finish it. Go ahead, Dave. What happened? It what? What happened? That's good. That's good. Give him a hand clap. Tell him, woo, I've been working with him. I've been hoping that he can. But that's it. That's good. Iron sharpens iron. Ain't that wrong? What y'all just say once, sometime try and see how much of it you know. And you don't know sometimes until you get pushed. Except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abides alone. Which means if it do, he say bring forth much fruit. Bring forth much fruit. Then what happened? We look at the premise of being born again. It gave up a life in order to take on another life. That's the same thing we look at. When Peter told us, wherefore laying aside all these different things, being flesh, we all bear some of these traits here. Evil speaking, malice, guile, hypocrisy, being a hypocrite. Now, all these things we portray, we have, and these are all carnal acts. The Bible even tells us in the 5th chapter of the book of Galatians. What did it tell us? Let these things now once be named among you, as becometh what? As becometh saints. 5th chapter of the book of Galatians. We're going to read it. You know what Chris like though? He said, at least I'm back here behind that wall where they can't see me when I do it. Yeah. He said, what happened? You used to be on it. He said, I'm going to get one. I'm going to be before the night over with, ain't it? He said, I hope so. 15th chapter, I'm sorry, the 5th chapter of the book of Galatians. Give me 5 and about 12. Let me see what that's saying. Make it 5:17. Listen.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
Make it 5:14. Listen.
For all the law is fulfilled in one word.
Yeah.
Even in this. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Come on.
But if ye bite and devour one another.
What happened?
Take heed that ye be not consumed one of another.
Yeah.
This I say then, walk in the spirit.
And what's going to happen?
And ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Now how you going to walk in the spirit? Except you get away from the flesh. If you're going to walk in the spirit, what are you going to walk in? The word. What you say, boss? Light? Well, it'll be light too. So that's what we start to look at. So if you're going to walk in the spirit, you're going to walk in the word. We know the word is light. So when you start to walk in the word, in order for that to happen, then you're going to have to go with what does the word dictate? Well, the word dictate, you can't be a liar, a hypocrite, a fornicator. You can't be an adulterer, a thief, covetous, right? None of these things. You got to keep the Sabbath. You can't have no other God. That's the only way you're going to be able to be led by the Spirit. That's the only way you're going to walk in it. Then you got to put some things aside. This is why the 12th chapter book of Hebrews told us, wherefore seeing we compass about with so great a cloud of, let us lay aside and the what else that so easily beset us. Isn't that right? So we know what then start to dictate our behavior. That's the only way you start to be able to actually being governed by the Spirit. You're not governed by the Spirit when you're still going and you're listening and you're being guided by the flesh. This is how you know whether or not you're the people of God. For every one of us in here, when the word tells us something, when the word directs us something, what do? You answer that for yourself. Don't say, we know, answer for yourself. Because we ain't all obeying and we now all sitting here going contrary. Right? So that's what you have to ask yourself. When the word tells you something, this what let you know whether or not you've been born again. Because the only reason you're not doing it is because of what? Hypocrisy. Guile. Evil speaking, malice. Isn't that right? See, these are the things that keep you from being born again. So when we listen to what he told Nicodemus about a man being born again, for Nicodemus, the only way that makes sense, you got to go back into the womb the second time. But he started to explain to us about a man being born of the water and of the Spirit. These are the things that we sat down and we have to consider. Does the word actually come along and validate your behavior? When the word directs you, do you follow? But the average us, the answer is no. Which means there's a hindrance in your plan of salvation. And the hindrance is, what is it about the flesh that you tend to hold to it and not turn over to take on eternal life? Whatever you're doing because you love the flesh is temporary. Whatever that's got you holding, the reason you can't die to the will of the flesh, that you can obey God, is temporary. Whatever you like is temporary. Until you get in God, that's the only way you're going to get things eternal. Come on, finish a little bit more of this. You still got me the 3rd chapter of the book of Colossians. Listen to the book.
For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit.
Y'all hear what the flesh do? It lusteth against the Spirit. Come on.
And the Spirit against the flesh.
And the Spirit against the flesh. Because guess what? The Spirit want to control, the flesh want to control. So this is it. This is why they can't have fellowship. When he tell you light can't have fellowship with darkness, it's to the same equivalent with the Spirit and the flesh. There's going to always be a contrary behavior. There's always going to be a struggle. That's why we find ourselves in so many struggles. Because the flesh want to rule. The flesh don't want nobody to tell it what to do. Sometimes I might tell you this, what you say? Who do you think he talking to? That's the flesh. It ain't the Spirit. Isn't that right? And when the Spirit started coming to rule, the flesh don't want to take it. So he letting you know they're contrary one to the other. So what happens?
And these are contrary the one to the other.
Y'all see this? They don't go together. Come on.
So that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
They're going to keep you holding, keep you bound. Come on.
But if ye be led of the Spirit,
listen what happened.
Ye are not under the law.
Come on. So what is he saying? If you led of the Spirit, you have to keep the Sabbath. You can have idol gods. What is he trying to tell us? You're not under condemnation of the law. You start talking about if you be led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. The law also got some attachments to it of a condemnation. Moses told the man that doth these things shall live bound. There's some other thing that got you holding on the law as well. Listen.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication.
So that makes sense why he would talk about being born again. That which is of the flesh in the 3rd chapter of the book of St. John told us is what? That which is of the Spirit is what? That's what we actually trying to apprehend or attain. We're trying to obtain that factor of where we become spirit. Totally led by the Spirit and not governed by the flesh. While we here on this earth, there's no way for it to be a complete process. It's an incomplete process. It's a process where the Spirit should be more the governing factor. It does not mean that you got to commit sin because you're here. It's just because we're here, you still got the flesh that's going to still come in the fight. And a lot of times it's going to keep you in a lot of struggles and a lot of hurts. They're going to make you make some decisions where it's going to put you into, it's going to wind up being a problem. Most of the thing we find ourselves when it comes up to be a struggle is not always that God put us in situation or allow situation. It's the fact that we're in the flesh, and the flesh always kind of get itself out because it don't see nothing wrong and it don't see it as sin. And then later on when you get trapped off in it, it wind up becoming sin. Because then it become a problem when the word be dictated and say don't do it or you shouldn't do that. You start saying, well, it ain't sin, why I can't do it? This is a problem. Because now leadership is speaking to you and you're not following. So a lot of times you can make things a sin. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Now when you're getting told to do something by the man of God, they're going to come from the direction of God. Now it become an issue where I don't see why I got to do it. Now it done become sin because you had obeyed them. They had a rule over. You see how it's now? While one fact that done came into another fact and that becomes sin. Now when Hebrew tell you about lay aside every weight and the what? Because you start looking at if this thing is this much weighing on me, it can wind up being a problem. It can be a sin. Some people say, that don't make sense. You don't know. Some stuff, if he done told me, because if it's heavy pressing, it can get to be a problem. If something too burdensome on me, I might wind up doing something to get out of it. If something too heavy pressing me, I don't want to let go of the load. I wind up taking the load on and keeping the load, and it wind up becoming a problem. So it's a thing where, you know what, some things, let me just put it down. Just lay it aside. Lay it aside ain't putting it where you can pick it back up. Lay it aside. Get rid of it. When Jesus took off the napkin and stuff, he folded and set it on the side. Did he go pick it back up? Lay it down. He ain't need it. It's a weight. I be said be a weight because it's supposed to be done. That bell supposed to be done away. Put that thing down. So you got to be able to transition like that. They may have to transition from a dinner to getting ready to going down, going from healing people, feeding people, folks. Jesus. Going to you crucify. Man, you got to transition. You got to transition. You sit up here, everybody come, you so many folks. Man, take me in the boat and take me out from the water so I can talk to all these people. I had to go up into a high mountain and sit down and teach all these people. To now, nobody want to hear you. Everybody want to see you dead. You got to be able to transition that quick. A lot of times we look, well, let me kind of just go at, like I got something. How many of y'all just, if it's up to you, you let you do it at your pace? How many of that's how you used to operate? If things had to be at your pace. That's me. I don't want stuff too fast. I don't like a loan. Don't come loan me a lot of stuff. Man, taking this job, maybe it take a lot of stuff change. You be like, I'd rather just take stuff like I said. I want to take it at my pace. When I'm ready, that's when I do it. When I want to do that, I want to hear that, that's what I do. I don't want nobody putting that on me, pushing that on me. And don't make me go fast and I want to go. Don't like nobody pushing me. But then the word coming on, the word ain't doing but push me. Because if it wasn't for the word pushing, I'll still be standing there talking about what I don't like and what I don't do, and that never got started. It take the word to do it. The word actually came in to recreate us. Because for some of us, it things some of us wouldn't do. Now you got something to show you. See, these are forms of showing you born again. I used to, what a time I wouldn't take. It was times that I wouldn't let it happen. It was times I wouldn't wait. But now the word come in, guess what? I'll wait. It ain't that. If sometimes if I ain't get what I want, it'd be bad. I wouldn't have to express it outwardly, but it was inside of me. I was not happy. And it was displayed in my action. I know it could be. Didn't have to do it. It's things that you learn how. It took the word to come to show me that. It's things we said, well, ain't like I said nothing to nobody, but you know what? You can have a mumbling, grumbling spirit. You can have a disposition that go along with it that somebody can tell you real bitter, nasty about something. You got to get past it. And then the word got to come in and it shape a man from the inside. You realize that could be harmful because that's all these are things I used to do and I can't carry that around anymore because it's a weight to me now. And then that weight gonna hinder me when the word come and say, I need you. Just like yesterday, when, it was put upon me, pressed on the decision what I felt like I needed to do, which it was important, but it was laid upon me, stay here and finish the work. Don't go and deal with it. Just stay here and do it. And logical self said, why not? Why you ain't gonna go in and go? Like he said, the flesh and the spirit, for whatever, it wasn't a sin if I left. But you know what it wound up showing? It would have wound up showing though. You love that more than you love what I got you doing. You don't really love what you do for me. And sometimes for some people, that don't mean you don't love God. It's just things you got to go do sometimes. Sometimes the Lord will put you on things and let you count a lot. When I say the Lord let me be clear on that. The allowance come in for the fact that's something you go and do. No more than God called David to number the people. Satan moved on his heart. That was his flesh. That was his mind. The captain of the host even told him, all these yours wasn't needed for us to number the people. We ain't going to say God made him number. God didn't make him number those people. David went on his own. It was just in his heart. He been a man of war. Let me just listen. I got people, I've been watching Leon his kingdom. Just in case something happens, just go get me a count of everybody I got. I just want to be ready. Man, they didn't even study me. Isn't that right? And then wind up going off just numbing the people. That wound up being a weight. It wound up being a sin to him, didn't it? What wound up happening to the people? Some start off that look harmless, that looks like a small thing. Wind up later, people wind up dying. That's why, and what it teaches us, sometimes you can't always go with y'all that say, your gut feeling. You know what I'm saying? Man, they get this gut feeling. And sometimes gut feeling can be good and can got you out of a situation we call, and it just be the Lord warning you. We start counting to our gut. Sometimes gut feeling done got us in some bad situation. Sometimes instinct have messed us up, and God will come along and show you, like the Bible teaches in the 1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter, man, he bring your foolishness, bring your understanding to naught. So you a fool. You've been going with your intellect, your understanding. You've been leaning with your gut. Much as you mess and poop. You need a diaper on. You can't afford to go with gut feeling. But all these things come to transition to get us out of what we had as a norm. For a lot of us, a lot of things we did, that's just how we did things. People do stuff that we cut them off. We don't like people, you tell them, you let them have it. All these things come, he said, you know what, lay it aside. That's a way. Because you know what, you have to start living your life where you're always ready to give people a piece of your mind and tell people off, and then wind up hindering you a lot of times. You got to know when. It's a time to do everything. Some people do things and don't realize it's a season. If you ain't led by the Spirit, you're not going to be no sons of God. So now we start to come back in the Lord, because our own flesh, we get led and put in a situation. First person we want to come to, oh Lord, I know you right and just, but why you let me and why you let them do? So it was me now. Or was it you because you went and you did what you want to do? Why you let me get hurt? You know how I am and I don't like to be hurt. So I let you get hurt. Versus you went on your own. You didn't listen when I told you to do something. See what I'm saying? We're like to try to go on account and try to come back at God with some reason. I know you God, but it don't make sense why you let this happen to me. James told us how a lot of this happened, didn't it? James 1:13. For everyone, when things come up, man, you got to learn to suck it up. At the end of the day, and listen, it ain't even about relationship. It's about a lot of things we might go out that we do. You got to learn when God come at the recompenses, or God come through the trials just to get us where we learn not to trust so much in our decision or so much in our flesh. God he needs a people that don't trust so much in themselves. We see too many things, and we people have it. When we see it, we think go after this God. God, more things we find from God is going to be by faith. Abraham was sitting there telling dad that Abraham tell me don't go. Look like I can see a land with milk and honey. All my descendants, they gonna be there. God just told him to leave. That man believed God. He believed God. Bible said against hope, he believed in hope. Gave that man a wife that couldn't even have a child. And tell that man all his seed. That man had to sit and consider. You know what it takes to sit here with a wife that's barren, and you hearing a man tell you, hearing the Spirit tell you about your descendant, your seed. That man loved God so much and wouldn't account God as a liar. He said, only one he had was his servant in his house. I'll take it. He said, he ain't got the servant in my house. That's what God will do. He'll take a servant in my house and bless and multiply my seed. No. That wasn't going to issue out your own bowels. That's how, we said what I'm talking about. My wife can't have no baby. Get away from me, demon spirit. Let's be practical. We're going to go with what we call logic. It make no sense if your wife can't have kids and she hadn't had them all that time. She's 90-some years old and some talking about your seed, your descendant. Logic just say, let's just not be what? Stupid. Now, you know good and done well, there ain't no God talking to you, telling you your wife and have no child. This man believed God.
Amen.
This man believed God. As simple as it might sound, Abraham ain't calling on none of us. We pray calling on his name. We use Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He don't use Tony, Bostic, and Joan, Zach, and Malcolm, or Mother Shell, and Mother. He don't use none of. He don't even know us. Even Isaiah said, doubtless will yours, though Abraham be what? Abraham don't know nothing about it. Abraham, get back. I'll bust in your chair like Dr. King. Oh, I thought you was somebody else. I mean, just consider it. Because of how this man believed God, look at how it worked for him. And then everything come up for us. We doubt things at every end. Don't you know God allows situations to get out of man's control, out of man's logic, out of man's reasoning, out of man's ability, so he can show you. The only reason I let that happen, so you can see is God. I gave you. I want these folks to tell you can't. There's no way it's going to happen. Forget it. Let it go. That's the final verdict, final sentence. Then come back and God said, look at God. Look at God. Man, y'all don't know about God. Y'all don't know. Let me tell you something. These folks gave us a tax bill, didn't they? How much was it? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when I told you what I did when I saw it? What I said? Huh? I count what? I count a side. What do you mean I count a side? Oh, side. Yeah, that thing, it was. Then I said, who I remember after that? Lord Faithful. Lord Faithful. Look up on that for me. You see some bills in the thing right now? Yeah, look down. One of them should be on now. One should say the city of Kanye. That's it.
City of Conyers.
What did it say? What did the tax bill say? How much? Y'all remember I told the lady to me one thing that we could do? Y'all remember I told y'all that? It was too late for an appeal. What did it say?
Total due $6,000.58.
Amen.
You serve your God, I'm going to serve mine.
Amen.
God faithful. God faithful. I told y'all that, didn't I? I be telling y'all, I say, y'all don't believe God. I learned to listen to him. God faithful. I ain't just started trying God yesterday. God faithful. A lot of times people don't know. You wait on God. God faithful. A lot of times God do stuff and hear somebody see your face and ain't nothing you can do about it either. Too late for any appeal. Told me flat-footed right there. I dropped me out. I said, you know what it is, what it is. Yeah, keep on doing what we got to do. How many dinners we sold? How many paid? How many fundraisers? How many chocolate candy bars we got for the kid to go to? All we do is wait on God. God will let folks tell you that. Tell you, listen, ain't nothing you can do. But you know, God let you know. The folks ain't no final judge or nothing.
Amen.
The folks ain't God, man. When God wave his hand, God move it. Listen, God listen to him. He told when he sent Moses to Pharaoh, one thing I thank God for him to know, I harden his heart. Ain't that right? Just so I can show my power. God harden his heart. That woman looked me right in my face and listen, we're a religious organization. How you going to do that? She said, ain't nothing you can do about it either. She said, one thing, no, good news. I said, what is it? Hope you ain't got to pay it next year. I said, next year? Wow, said right in my face. Woman just said, she laughed like to think of Joe with him. She said, hey, it's what it is. January 1, that's what it was, that's what it is. She said, it's too late for the appeal on it too. Thank the Lord.
Amen.
Wonderful Savior.
Amen.
I'm telling man, y'all don't, when I tell y'all, I tell y'all, I said, Lord, faithful. Just trust him.
Amen.
Just trust. Listen, if it don't go our way, I want to say he wasn't faithful. It made no difference.
Amen. That's right.
Because you know what? If it been 26, God going to give her 26.
Amen.
It make no difference either way it go. That's how God works. God let you know how to let folk. When folk tell you, no, they ain't no final judge on nothing. Y'all hear me? God final judge on everything. How she gonna curse who God ain't cursed?
Amen.
That's what bad. They gonna try to hire these people to try to curse us. They can't curse who God done blessed.
Amen.
Y'all hear me?
Amen.
From the top of the rock, they can see us.
Amen.
These folk know who he is. Ain't that right? They hoping their last estate be like ours.
Amen.
I'm trying to tell you, when God set his mind for you, whether for destruction, whether for your good, you better take it. You better take it. God faithful. He done told Abraham, God got to come back. He remember his oath. When I pray to God, that's all I do. Remember what you told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm holding God to his word. I tell you, for y'all don't know, just trust God. God gonna give us the faith. Every now and then you gonna get some doors slammed in your face. You gonna get some things that just ain't gonna go your way. God gonna come back and show you. Everything gonna come against you now. Amen. He know, you know what? He know if he did, the heart of faint. He know ain't no way in the world everything in the world can't work. I don't care how much you say you believe God. Everything in the world can't work against you. Just being flesh, you'll faint. You'll give up. Yeshua told in the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew, except those days be short. What he said? I thank God he faithful.
Amen.
He know me. He know you. He know what you can take. He know what you can bear. Sometimes you at the end and you feel like you taking all you can take. You ain't taking all you can. God faithful.
Amen.
He ain't gonna suffer me be tempted above I'm able. With the temptation, God gonna make a way to escape. A lot of times we be saying around, Lord, I can't take. You still here. You can take it.
Amen.
I looked at yesterday, let me hear. If I'd have left yesterday, I'd escape. I'd have got out there and, Lord, so you can take more. Nobody won't let the phone stop. I'm saying that I just need a minute. No, you don't. Take some more. You ain't going to know what you take till you start getting it put on you. Then I said, I need to get away for a minute. I get away for a minute, then I escape and say, that's what you're doing. You're like, now sit in it. Now sit here and deal with it. So look at God. Sometimes you don't know why God put you, but if you be busy, mumbling, grumbling, complaining, you'll never see God working. You don't just hold to believe God however it work out. I'm going to trust your name. I'm going to trust what you say you're going to do. A lot of time, a lot of us, we fearful. And a lot of time, God got to get that fear out. The only way to do it, so they got to break you. Got to put you in some fearful situation and let you learn how to stand. You want to grow. You want to get aptitude with God and don't even get up. Lord, take me higher. Lord, higher. Lift him up. You steady going down. Just to be honest, a lot of times that's why someone don't get no breakthrough, because you know it. You always plateau. You always quit. You always run. You always get out of stuff before you can grow. Don't take that, won't take that. Then you wonder, why are you stagnating your growth? You don't get to see God work for it because you don't never let God work. God don't work the way we think. Our perception just like they think. We always think it's in getting things. Sometimes when God don't give us a take, God's still working. When God cutting something off, takes us, God's still working. It ain't never too late for God to come back to bless for us. He'll bless a man like Caleb 40 years after the time that he told me we were going to bless him.
Amen.
God will still preserve your I got to have that kind of confidence in God that God will do the same thing he did for me, he did for him. In the 5th chapter of the book of James, what did he tell us? Don't try it, Brother Daniel. Whoever was cheating with him, Peter, you want to look down and try it. You want? B said, nope, not this time. You want to go look at that Bible, though, Josh, on the slide? What did he say in the 5th chapter of the book of James? You have not? Pick me up the 5th chapter of the book of James. Verse 16. That's right. You have not because you have not. You ask not. You ask? How you ask? That you might do what? That's right. James 5:16. Listen.
Confess your faults one to another.
Yeah.
And pray one for another.
Yeah.
That ye may be healed.
You hear what Ryan said? He said, that's a good one too. Yeah. Go ahead. Come on.
The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
Listen.
Elias was a man subject to like passions.
Y'all hear that?
As we are.
Just like us. What did he do, son?
And he prayed earnestly
Lord,
that it might not rain.
have mercy. What happened, son?
And it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months.
Well, it takes something for a man to move God to do that. Man got to be consistent. Man got to have a mind toward God to pray for something like that. Man say just like us, light passion like us. Man, some of the same actions, some of the same verbs we have. Yet that man prayed to God, prayed earnestly, and it rained not for the space of 3 years and 6 months. What did happen, son?
And he prayed again.
And what happened?
And the heaven gave rain.
When he prayed, did it start raining right then? What happened? What happened? He sent a messenger out, and what happened? Huh? And what happened? He didn't see one. So when you pray, it don't mean it got to happen right then. Well, when Jane give it to you, Jay, like as soon as he prayed, it stopped. When he prayed, here come rain. How Elijah prayed, it didn't rain right then. Sent a messenger, I ain't see nothing. He sent him back out another time. I don't see nothing. Told him to go back again. He told me I see a cloud. What it look? He's about the size of a man's hand. He told him, here come rain. Man, you pray, you got to wait on God. Right. Everything got to happen just right then when you pray on God, but you got to believe God faithful.
Amen.
Man, God, you got to believe God for that. But you know what? It takes us getting that type of experience with God. Listen to what happened in the 5th chapter of the book of Romans, 5:1. I thank the Lord. I ain't just getting my confidence in God tonight.
Amen.
And I say this, I didn't get it overnight either.
Amen.
Let me be clear. I didn't just get it tonight now. And I didn't get it overnight.
Amen.
Had to go through some things. You had to suffer some things. I don't wrestle with a whole lot of things in myself. Whether it's God or is it me? One that should have stopped, should have go. I wrestle with all kind of things and you finally get to a point and you get the stability. It comes. It happens. Lean and try to make sure you're going the right way. You're not led to yourself. If you can just see something else, if you can get another confirmation, then you'll truly know all these different things. And you have to just go and you got to trust God. So I'm trusting God. I'm going to go. Let it be the right way. And then God come through and show you it's right. It's right. You just got to believe God. You got to keep standing, folks. It'd be nice every time you do something, a voice will come and say, this is me for sure. No lies, no tricks, no game. I mean, it'd be nice. Can't make no mistake. As soon as you get in, no, that's not me. You say, well, I ain't done that. I ain't going to do that. Think if you had your whole life like that, who can mess up? Here it is. You got to go by some letters. You got to go by some scriptures. Isn't that right? You got to go by some gospel. You got to go with what they said and trust. That's what he said. You got to go and say, I'm led to him because I believe what they said. That's the kind of mind he wants. Because he know if I gave it to you like that, who couldn't do it? And the average of you'll still go wrong. Go on, stand up, Michael. I already seen your eyes kissing each other. You still thinking about it? You don't know if you sleep. Let me tell you something. You got to get to a point where you do something different. You just got to get to a point where you do something different. At the end of the day, let me ask y'all something. Answer. How many of y'all can be honest and just tell you, you're not getting no results when you pray? So all the rest of y'all getting results when you pray. Shoot, I don't know why we ain't already. We should have moved it building. All y'all folk getting results. I'm just being honest. Our folk getting results, ain't it? Truth being told, I know y'all not, because I see ain't no changes in your life. Ain't no way where you getting the result. I don't know why y'all just going on. You just going on because you don't want people to look at you and think you're not getting no results and make people think you're not seeing, but you still ain't changing. You still lying to yourself. Quit lying to yourself. That's the first thing. Be honest with you. I try to pour out to y'all to be honest so you can make a change. That's what the Bible just tells you. Lay aside hypocrisy. You worry about who looking at you and what they going to say. The people you worry about ain't even saved. What is another sinner going to say to me? You get no result because you actually look at, do you really trust him to a point of getting results? When situation comes, what do you wind up leaning to? And look at what it wind up taking to actually get you where you got to be. At the 5th chapter of the book of St. or the 5th chapter of the book of Romans at verse 1. Listen to the book.
Therefore, being justified by faith.
Y'all hear what he said? Being justified by faith. Come on.
We have.
How many of y'all here justified by faith? I appreciate y'all. Be honest. Man, I'm going to tell y'all something. When we look at the people that set the precedence for faith for us and what these people actually did and how they actually trusted, we got a better way. We got a better way. I'll just be honest with you. If I ever tried out the rip and just told me to go take my only son up and offer, and I got 2 and he told me to take one offer, I'm gonna be having some questions. I'm going to need to talk to somebody. Y'all want to tell lies? Y'all tell the truth. I'm going to need to talk to somebody. I'm going to need to know what this got to do with anything because Jesus already came and died. The elders, we not where these people were, not by faith. We get the opportunity, we get to sit here and read about things that they didn't even question, but that they trusted God, and look how God blessed them. Now I'm coming along, if he should come now and say, take thine only son and offer him, just so I only had one of them, with knowing what I know the word, go ahead and do it, because he's not going to actually help. Do that now I'm here, he don't set it out wide up. Oh! I'm already looking by through what he gone through. I'm going to use that to know, go ahead and do it, don't question, so I be like Abraham. So you know what he do? I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I'm going to put you on some other situation. I'm going to tell you, let that go. Why though? It don't make sense. That's what I want. It's trying to show you ain't no child of Abraham. Now, why would I go take you, tell me I go kill some or slay some for me when I just told you to do something simple you wouldn't do it? He get us every time. He'll show most of it. He know who wouldn't follow that. Who wouldn't go and do that? Right out the rib. You already know how they go down. I know how it go down. Go make me an ark. Oh, yeah, I'm finna go get. I already know. Go for wood. Don't even tell. I already know. Go for wood. Know the cube. Like I read the story. I know how many times. I know how many animals go get. 2 unclean, 7 clean. I already know what to do. They ain't gonna tell you go build me a house. I'm trying to do some other thing first. So you think I'd have actually told you to build an ark? You don't have the faith or the capability of the people that he called to do that. When I say you, I'm including me. All of us. All of us conclusively. See, that's how he trip us up. He'll send us on simple tasks to show you, you can't do these. Why would I tell you to do something else? Why would I ever send you to go build an ark? Why would I ever go tell you to offer something? I already know you're going to get it wrong because you hadn't obeyed yet. We get tripped up on the smallest matters and we sit around here looking at, if I could have been, I'd have did. I could see me doing it. I could see you, and where you see yourself at is in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah talking about, where them men's at? Because the average of us, we followers and not leaders, don't have our own mind. Crowd, most of these folks that going to be homosexual, some folks going to be homosexual, they ain't actually their spirit. They just look at everybody doing it. A lot of people more follow and having their own mind to really know their other one. Again, don't know what they want. They're confused individuals. Tell me something, shut your mouth. Don't say thing no gay look, just retarded. It takes the word to actually come give us solid, to give us direction, and actually show us you really don't know yourself. And during the exercise, I asked y'all to sit down and write down who are you without your things, just you. Without your marriage, without your children, was an exercise you actually sit down, and I hope every one of you and those at home were honest with yourself. Who are you? What actually keeps you going or make you go? What are your biggest fears? Those sometimes our biggest torment. Some of the things that we fear, we have to actually get tested by it so we can get past it. Because every time those fears come, when things get near there or approach there, we want to quit. We lock in our little secret closet. We shut down. We close off from people. It's just different things we do, and you don't realize these things hold us back, and they show there's no growth. Because how did you manage to do the same thing you've been doing before? How do you wind up coming to the same conclusion you did before hearing the word? Which means there's really no change. You hadn't actually set things aside. 5:1. Listen, therefore being justified by faith.
We have peace with God.
So you wonder why you ain't got peace with God. There's no peace in my God with who? The Bible told us without faith, what is it? To do what? For he that cometh must. And that what? Of them that diligently seek him. Consistent. How many of y'all can admit you inconsistent in serving toward God or being faithful toward him? I appreciate it. First sign of recovery is admitting. First signs. You know what? If people could actually get an opportunity to sit down and be true with themselves, a lot of things they can make better for themselves. Because you know what? Once you build a lie, you keep building a lie, you got to keep living behind them lies and you can't ever see the truth. You can cover so much stuff with lies, the truth just can't be seen. Eventually, it's short. The only way the truth be seen, it got to tear down the lies. Ain't that right? You looking for lies to disappear. They're not. You're going to have to bring them to light. Everything got to be brought into judgment. So it can be done away with, be gone away. You got to manifest it. And the word come to manifest to show us ourselves so we can stop being no inferior people that we've been. Sometimes people put up a big boast of confidence when they're really scared. You'd be surprised. The average people in the world, a lot of them like that. A lot of people fearful. A lot of people afraid. He told you have fear. What happened? Can't be made perfect. Because it got what? Some of y'all know y'all in torment. Then you got to think, what do I do to break that? What do I do to get past that? The best way to do is to deal with it. Let's find out why you have fear. We find out why you have fear. Let's get away from it. Let's learn what does the word teach us. How to get away from it. Identifying it, then making change. Adapt, overcome. What else you do? I told y'all before, there's a lot of things I fear, and they hold you back. Little things y'all think are small are bigger than what you think, because they keep you from your growth from God, because you always got the fear of this happening. You always got the fear of this coming up. You always got the fear of that holding you down or keeping you back. You always got the fear of other people going to get it. Not, those things will hold you back from serving God, because you already know when you pray. Before you pray, you know, and used to me asking, because I already know if I ask, I ain't going to get it. I don't never get it. So why are you praying? That's the first thing. Stop. Let's get past why you never get. Is it because of behavior or is it because God not faithful? We know God's favor. Then we got to start looking at behavior. Then we got to start looking at getting you more spiritual mind, because then the spirit does what, brother? Huh? It can't make intercession when you're not in behavior. How it going to make intercession for me if I'm not in behavior? The Spirit had to make intercession. He said, you don't know what to pray for as you ought to. The Spirit had to make intercession. That's stuff we had to learn. People just taught us, you're a sinner, y'all sinners, just pray. So if I'm a sinner and the Spirit made intercession, what am I praying for? He said, I don't even know what to pray for as I ought to. A lot of stuff we've been told, we had to come back and we got to be taught. He said, the time you ought to be teaching, you got need to want to do what? That's the first principle of the articles of God. You got to be taught. I talked to an old friend of mine, they were trying to tell me, I was trying to tell him about the word holy and what it meant and about Kodesh and making the change of that. He said, you know what I believe? The folks that going on now, if they believe God and love God and serve God and follow according to the scripture, I don't believe God looked at that same way. I think God looked at what they knew and what they were trying to do. I said, how sad that is. Y'all know how many preachers put one on their back and they really think they believe the word? You know what? And it's acceptable if that's what you want to believe, because I knew it was just a cover for his lifestyle. It was a cover for him because he know he's doing things that's contrary. So if you can believe that about somebody else, you can believe it about yourself. They just believe, as long as your intent is good, as long as you mean good, God gonna. We know better than that. We have to look and say, well, what about all these people that died and all these people? Now, are we to believe that God's stupid? He gonna sit up and judge us by some people that died holy. And say these people here the same as y'all, they were just holy and call themselves holy, but they should have been Kaddish, but everything else was right. They're going to be with the people that got it all according to what he said. What's the part of Revelation showing up the way he's going to let these people in who knew not the way? It makes absolutely no sense. That's why he told you, I'm going to give you pastors according to my heart that's going to feed you with knowledge and what else? Well, why didn't you get it before you died? Because you didn't have a pastor. You didn't have understanding. And what'll make you worthy of death, brother? Lord, I didn't understand. Come ye blessed of my Father into a kingdom we prepare for you before the foundation of the world. Is this going to make sense? When without understanding, worthy of death? But see, we want to accept that, especially if we're doing stuff we know and we ain't where we need to be. Because if we can believe that about them, then that's how we feel about ourselves. I feel like I'm trying, although I ain't doing everything. I mean well. I believe I love the Lord anyway, although I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. That makes absolutely no sense. Until we can become conscious and start identifying real facts. If you love me, how many of y'all here hate God? Three people. 4 people, 5 people, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Because we keep his commandment. He says commandments are not grievous. These things are not supposed to be grievous to us. That's why we come back to learn the Lord. Being truthful with yourself is the first sign of recovery. A lot of times, like I said, we've learned in these Christian churches, and even up on it, being Israelites and being Jews and Hebrews, how to be better liars. We learn how to be better hypocrites than we ever were when we were Christian in Sunday worship. Because we never actually dealt with attacking the problems. We don't consider, now, what do we do to make the transformation? He said, if I love him, then keep his commandments. Then I got to set myself in position to where I see life in the commandment. I see death in disobedience. In the 30th chapter of the book, remember the 30th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, verse 17? Other brother, you still hold me Romans the 5th chapter? Amen. He still had me Colossians chapter 3. I think he left off about verse 3. Wonderful Savior.
Amen.
Listen. 30 and verse 16. Listen.
In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
Y'all hear that? If you love me, keep my commandment. I wonder where you should have got that from. He said, I command you this day to love the Lord thy God. What happened, son?
To walk in his ways.
See, this now we find out this love. That's love. It ain't hard to love God. You know how we start to learn to love God? By starting to hate ourselves. We hate every fraction of ourselves that causes us to go contrary to what he tells us to do. That's the only way to get a true love for God. No, we asked her. He told you, I command you. That's an order. You got to love God. We've been told we got to love him. That's an order in itself. I command you. What that mean? The word command by definition means that's an order. Isn't that right? We did play a game called command. You command somebody, had to do it. You don't have a choice in it, man. It's amazing. Even some of our games can show us a product or show us a stem off from what we have to do today. He said, I command you. You ain't no choice. I command you this day to love the Lord thy God. Listen what he told us.
To walk in his ways.
To walk in his ways.
And to keep his commandments.
Because you know how many times we told people we love him and we actually did? Because his mouth can say anything. Just the garbage situation. I said, right now I'm going to kick y'all out. Y'all two don't say y'all love each other. If this is the way you want to be, you're going to say, I love you, but it ain't in your heart. It cannot be in your heart, though. Isn't that right? So now we start to look at what do we have to do to readdress this to try to get ourselves where we get out of these situations. Let me tell you something. You can't help people if you don't know what the problem is. And the real problem is people won't ever address or people won't ever confess what the problem is so we can get better. That's why we're here to get better. By actually admitting there's a problem. You trying to help people. I don't have no problem. You got a problem. I ain't got no problem. It's a problem. Why are you sitting at the hospital arguing with the doctor for you ain't got no problem? Because first of all, why are you at the hospital? It's a problem that you went somewhere that you didn't have to be. Everyone here, include me, because we sick. We sick. We need a physician. And we were whole, we wouldn't need a physician. Right? So we here because we sick. Now, the only way to get help, we got to start talking and find out what's going on so we can try to fix the problem. That's how doctors go back and look and research and see what kind of medication I'm going to use to try to fix what you told me your symptoms were. Everybody's symptoms lead up to be a problem. That's why they come in, you talking, they checking their pulse, make sure his pulse work, check his heart rate, make sure that work, get the light, look in his ear, look at his throat, see if anything going. All these things these things he going to need these to go back to try to diagnose what he feel like the problem is. I go back, I'm going to look at their pulse. I'm going to look at what a normal pulse supposed to be. I'm going to look at what a normal heart rate need to be. I'm going to look at how normal tonsil need to be. I'm going to look at ears and see if they look close. All these things, I'm going to base these off normancy. There's a normancy that we're going to look at a scale that says from between here and here is normal. Between here. Once I go back and look, if I see something that's not where it's in the range of normal, I'm going to start looking at the problem probably going to be right here. When I go back here and I look at a pulse rate, a normal pulse rate, if I don't remember know it offhand, and here's not in that wrong, I'm going to start working from here. When I go here and I check a normal heart rate or what is, and I found out here's his off, it's not, I'm going to start working from here. That's why we come in the Word Cup. We got to find where the problem is so we can start working. Get to where the real problem is. All we've been doing is speculating. Speculating without doing any real examination or diagnosis. When the book comes, it tells everyone here to examine yourself and see whether you be well. Because that's how you justify it. Examine yourself. So you see you're not in faith, prove your own self. Which means instead of you testing God, we were taught a lot of time about testing God. How many times God came and told us about if we pay our tithes and offering? What he told us to do? Try me. Test me. Try me and see what I'll do. Now you know he told you to do. I already know what you'll do. He said, prove your own self. For your own self. Sometimes we went on God tell me, I just need a sign to know what I'm not, I'm yours. Well, that ain't hard. Do the test from the book. Go look at the book and examine yourself. Go and test your own self and see whether or not. Know whether or not, he said, you be the Mashiach. He said, lest you be what? You're either going to be one or the other. Reprobates, by definition, is worthless. Worthless. A person shouldn't ever want to sit down and see themselves to be devalued. So now we're trying to come back and put a value on ourselves. What he told us to redeem. Try to get a value back on you. Look at a value. Now you can get a value back and say, look, the days are evil. The people are so wicked. Look, it's easy now to get away from what you're doing and get up the value. Even with Israel, when he brought them out, he told them they were going to take on the land. He let them know it wasn't because of your righteousness, was it? What he told you what has happened? Look how bad the other people are. They so bad off, they make our value come up. They done told us to come back and redeem the time. Look at the time today. He said even men and seducers going to wax what? Deceiving? Now, why in the world are you going to put yourself in that category? Which means you've been here. Why shouldn't you be, instead of regressing, why are you not progressing? Huh? Which means you got to start putting yourself in a category. Am I in the category of evil men and seducers? I'm sitting here being seductive, I'm tricking, I'm conniving people. So you waxing worse and worse. You deceiving, and the sad part now, you done got deceived with your own stuff. These are the things we have to look at, we have to consider. We got to hear the good with the bad. And hearing that, it gives us a chance to examine ourselves. Say, do I see growth? Do I see progress? I got to look at these things. Y'all come along. That's why I get on y'all saying you need to be awake. Especially some of y'all. How the same people sleep every time? That makes absolutely no sense. At what point is there a breakthrough in a chain that you sat down and start rationalizing where you going? At what point do you sit and say, okay, being truthful with myself is not to be the same person that I've been. It's time to make a change. It's time to make a change. At some point, I got to trust God enough to his word that he going to give me the spirit. I got to stop trusting God when it's at my convenience, and when it's not at my convenience, when it's not something I want to do, or when I'm uncomfortable, then I stop trusting God and I start questioning God. Huh? If I want to question God on anything, I ought to question on God, why are you so patient? Why you keep on forgiving me? That ought to be the question. Especially when we look at him being a just God. Especially when we look at him being a God that visited iniquity. Question him on that. Instead of questioning, why you ain't did what you said yet? Why things be happening to me? Why people always against me? Without looking at yourself and looking at why you find these situations arising. Some of the answers to these questions, if we look at ourselves, we'll find the answers. Listen to the book.
And to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments.
See that? If you love me, keep my commandments. When he told them fellas to do that, what you think he was telling them? They would have knew the law. They already knew what he was telling them. I'm commanding you this day to love the Lord. Everyone either say you hadn't. And the one that didn't admit it, you know good and well you don't love him. Because you hadn't been doing it. But you've been commanded this day to love the Lord. To keep all his statutes and his judgments. Listen.
That thou mayest live and multiply.
That thou mayest live and multiply. Come on.
And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
If you look, this was a similitude of being what he told us to do, except the man of corn of wheat fall into the ground and died about alone. But if it died, bring forth much fruit. He just said he commanded them this day. If he commanded them that day, what were they doing the day before? Couldn't have been leavening. Because it would have been, he would have commanded, he just said, keep doing what you're doing. That'd been an easy thing to do. It wouldn't make sense to say that, just keep doing what you're doing. He said, I'm commanding you this day, which means if you look at it, this is a privilege for us being born again. Because now I'm telling you to start doing something you hadn't been doing. At the whole, what you got, 12th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. Twelve and 1. We'll come back. This will do the Lord permit. Y'all all right?
Amen.
Listen to the book.
These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land.
Come on.
Which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it. All the days that ye live upon the earth.
Yeah.
Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods.
Yeah.
Upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree.
Come on.
And ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire.
Let me ask y'all a question. Why would the Lord command them to do that? Huh? I can't hear you say it. Huh? What did you say about that? So they wouldn't be tempted. Both of them right. Carrie says so they wouldn't be whoring with other gods. Brother Anthony says so they wouldn't be tempted. You would think when they going in, I'll come in, I'll get this God out of him, whip it down, tear it down, all this altar. It ain't because of y'all, it's because I'm going to wind up fooling with it. You think you going in, you doing something by taking out their stuff. Y'all exactly right. It's because of them. Who wind up getting off by it? See, the Lord know what you need to get rid of for you to get right. See, them going in their intent with looking at the other nation was so bad, and they got this stuff, and then realize it because when you got that, you were going to wind up mixing, mingling with them, and you were going to wind up getting it. He went out probably cried out how the people that they had told Ezra, what the people that did. Hold on, 9th chapter, if you would, the book of Ezra. I know I got y'all holding some stuff up there. See, these things we never keyed into. We just start looking at what we doing. We going to tear out all these sinner stuff. Because soon we get here and we see it, guess what we going to be? Sinners. We're going to be sinners like them. we wound up taking on their stuff. We would think we were going in, we were taking all these people down and ripping these people's stuff down, but it was for us to take it down because we wound up taking attention to it. This is the 9th chapter of the book of Ezra at verse 1. Listen to the book.
Now when these things were done...
Now when what now?
Now when these things were done...
Now when what now?
These things were done...
What happened?
The princes...
What were the princes, brother? Queen who? Diana? The rulers. What did they do?
Came to me, saying...
What did they say?
The people of Yisrael...
The people of who?
Yisrael.
The people of who?
Yisrael.
What did they do?
And the priests...
And the priests.
And the Levites...
And the Levites.
Have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations.
What happened?
Even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites.
What happened?
For they have taken of their daughters for themselves,
yeah,
and for their sons, so that the Kodesh seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands.
So now you see why he told us when we were going in to tear all that stuff down. Now you think about, like I said, hindsight. When they find themselves in this situation, this is what happened.
Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass.
Yeah.
And when I heard this thing,
what happened, son? I
rent my garment and my mantle, and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard, and sat down astonished.
So let me ask y'all a question. What did he wind up just doing? Martin. Y'all brothers are smart. Y'all need to know this, don't it? What did the Lord tell us about that? For what reason? So y'all saying they were dead? Huh? They were dead. They were dead. Paul even testified that concerning us. Jesus built with Mark. Isaiah told us that. His face, his appearance was marred more than any man. They would cut themselves. This man had cuts on him. That was stuff he told us not to do for the dead. Who told us that they were dead? Haggai told us that. In the 2nd chapter of the book of Haggai at verse 9. Y'all need to know these things. Haggai chapter 2 at verse 9. Let me tell you something. The problem is, if y'all listen to the law, you were told, you were commanded to love the Lord thy God this day, to keep all his statutes, his judgments, so you can live. Now, if they hadn't kept them, what were they? They were dead. Listen.
The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former.
Listen.
Saith the Lord of hosts.
Listen.
And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts.
Yeah.
In the 24th day of the 9th month.
What happened, son?
In the 2nd year of Darius came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying.
What did he say?
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Yeah.
Ask now the priest concerning the law, saying, if one bear Kodesh flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread or pottage, or wine or oil, or any meat, shall it be Kodesh?
And what did they say?
And the priest answered and said, no.
Listen.
Then said Haggai, if one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean?
And what happened?
And the priest answered and said, it shall be unclean.
And what did he say?
Then answered Haggai and said, so is this people, and so is this nation before me, saith the Lord.
They were unclean by reason of dead works. They were counted just like the dead. Paul told us something. The woman that liveth in pleasure, that's exactly wrong. What did he tell them? Paul said, we thus judge that if one died, then he said everybody was dead. That's what Paul said. He said if one died, then all were dead. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. At verse 15. So a lot of this stuff we don't consider. That man sat here and looked at these people were dead. He started sitting here when he was snatching his beard, he was marring himself. The Lord told him not to do that. He said he just sat there astonished. How long he say he sat there, brother? Don't look back in that book. Hold on, Beeler beat you to it. Beeler, I knew he was coming in. What'd you say, Beeler? Beeler got it right that time. I knew you were going to come in, Beeler, before long. Beeler said, I don't scare myself. I think it's a setup. No, it's not. You're right. He sat there astonished to the evening sacrifice. Representing who, Beasley? That's right, brother. Yeshua. Yeshua was sitting there astonished. They were sitting here hollering, telling that man stuff. He wasn't even paying these people no attention. He was just looking at these people. That's what he was looking at. When they told Ezra what these people had did, he was sitting there he was stunned. He just couldn't believe it. Just like Yeshua, just sitting there, he was just astonished to the evening sacrifice. Listen.
2 Corinthians 5:14.
Come on.
For the love of Christ constraineth us.
That's what I got to get everybody here to doing. If you love me, that's what we got to get. The love of Christ will constrain us. So what we got to start doing and what our focus will be is making sure we start to love him. Because once we actually take on that love, it'll restrain us. It'll make us do what we won't want to do. What the flesh don't want us to do, it'll make us do it. If our purpose and our will is right, it'll keep us. Isn't that right? Listen.
Because we does judge that if one died for all,
then
we're all dead.
So he told Haggai, asked the priest concerning the law, what you think that he would tell them? When he went and asked the priest, they told him they were unclean by reason of a dead body. He was saying, so is this nation. So is this people before me. Everybody coming in contact with, we made them unclean. We were dead. When he would have went back knowing the law, why would he say if one died, then we're all dead? Why he said we're all unclean by reason of a dead body? They the reason the uncleanness of the other people. We got the law. To us will deliver the lively article, people. Y'all got to remember that. We received a living article, but we wind up being like dead people before God. An unclean nation. Now we're trying to come back and purify ourselves. How you purify yourself, brother?
Obeying the truth.
How many of y'all want to start loving God? All y'all do is obey the truth. The word, he said when he came, he said he was the what now? The what else? So let's obey what he told us. That's all we got to do. Let's obey what he told us. I told you guys before this, a couple of people in here, we kind of got a pact between us when they remember it. I told them what you can do, and I know it's one of the biggest hurdles is looking at how long you got to do it, how long you got to stay consistent, how long you got to live right, how long you got to try to wait till you get back in. Let's just get through the day. I can't worry about trying to live right for the whole month of September. After a while, you get confidence. You figure September going to be just like August was. You know what I'm saying? And that was just, and August was just like July. And July was just like May. I live right in them months. I'm going to do the same in the other. You can start to put yourself so far, you can faint. Just like Peter, when he first came out of the water, he did good. But if you get too far now, you go out of why. I mean, that's just the human part of a man. People can say what they want to say. That's a human part. It's easy just to take a little water. Now, the while you start looking at where you at and you start looking at how much more you might have to go, that's a little more than I can handle. Stop trying to bite out more than what you can chew. You know, y'all can eat a whole elephant if you just taking one spoon or fork at a time. But you try to go start up there and just grab that whole foot and shove down your throat, you're going to make a mess. And please don't start at the hind part. You'd be surprised what you can do if you take it one fork, one spoon at a time. All we got to do is take this one day at a time. I ain't know you just trying to get your mind set on trying to live right, son. Just get through the day. If the Lord let you live through the day, guess what? We will repeat the same action. There's some medication. You'll take it, it'll say, take 1 or 3 a day. Isn't that right? For so many days. You take them until the situation changes. If that don't work at that time, some medication you might buy with the counter, tell you after this, after so many days, go consult your doctor. Come back and see me if they ain't working. All we're going to do is try something else. What we're going to try going to be in the Word. What click for some of y'all ain't going to click for the other. It'd be beautiful if everybody clicked at the same time, got on the same page. It'd take the Word to keep coming. For every one of y'all, some will come in and electrify you at a different time, hit you and say, that's what I need to hear. I got my plan now. I know what it is I need to do. Now I can set it for it and put it into play and put it into action. And that's what a lot of you guys hadn't done. You just been out here free will. You know what y'all been doing? Been playing like they doing like you've been doing with football. You really don't know, but what you've been doing been going, but you wore yourself out doing, trying to do more because you didn't actually have no direction. Now you put more on yourself because I don't actually understand what I actually supposed to be doing in this position. I wind up running over trying to do stuff that really ain't my job, wearing myself out. And that's a lot of times what a lot of us doing. You put more on yourself and you wind up wearing yourself out and you think you're doing it for God and you're actually doing it because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. When you actually get taught what you're supposed to be doing, you'll be better at it. Well, you better when you were just all over the field, you were better once you learned what you had to do. That's what we do. Let's learn what we're supposed to be doing, you become better at it. But if you're just going to come in here and shoot from the hip and just be all over the place doing something, you're going to make a mess. I remember the first time I played organized basketball went out there, I tried to be the point guard. I said, man, get that ball to your hand. I was like, because in the yard we used to play, I used to dribble. I didn't know. I thought I played a dribble. Man, they said, I kind of referee, they called a break. I'm just shooting the ball. Get a ball. I said, man, what's wrong with these people? You good, Chris? You laughing a little too hard. But I mean, until you get some organization, somebody shows what you're supposed to be doing, you don't know. I was thinking basketball stuff in the street, in the backyard, was the same thing out there. I wanted to dribble. I was mad. I wanted to quit because I wanted to dribble. Because if you can't get help somewhere. But I'm saying, and you wind up doing too much when that's not your position. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in the middle. I want a center. I'm in the middle trying to get out the way. I'm just all over the place. Till somebody come along and give you direction and actually let you know, understand what the game is, what we're doing, not actually call the game, but understand what the premise is, what we're trying to do. Understand exactly what your assignment is and where you need to be and execute that assignment. And they used to call what y'all had with assignments. That's what they look at. When something failed or play go, you on your assignment. They were looking at who wasn't where they were supposed to be. You had no business all the way across. They're like, what were you doing? Your assignment was to be here. That's all you, and everybody doing their part. Guess what? Everything we set up should work. It should work. We look at God. There's no failure in God. If we execute the way we're supposed to, everything he give us will work. What wind up happening? People not where they're supposed to be. People not paying attention. People trying to do what somebody else is supposed to be doing, and they wind up being a problem. When we come in here, folks, we got to set our minds and we got to consider. Do you really understand what the object of the game is? The object of the game is for us to be saved at the end of the day. In order to do it, then we have to put forth a plan. And the plan got to be executed just the way it's been given to us. Huh? When Paul sat down and told us, follow me as I follow Christ. And keep the what? As I do what? That's how he had to give it. That's your assignment. What? Just like I gave it to you. If everybody take hold of what the order is, the head of Christ, the head of man, head of the woman, everybody take their order. That's it. Everybody take their order. That's why don't try to jump outside your order. You're going to make a mess. Everybody just play your role. Role play to what you've been taught to do, and you're going to find the plan of salvation. Got to be your conclusion. But you can't get it when you're not operating according to the dictation of the word versus the dictation of your heart. There's a lot of people going to hell going by the dictation of their hearts. How they feel and what they think. None of that stuff don't save you. You can't put that junk. Let me ask you, when you were playing, because y'all saying you said, when I was a boy, I remember we used to be in the backyard, we used to do a play like this. What happened? He's a fight. Give me your playbook. You get your behind out of here. We can't use that stuff. You got to go with the playbook. Let me tell you what happened. And people don't realize how I show you that people believe the word. If you didn't learn that playbook, you still could play. What they do, you didn't learn that playbook. They're going to take your playbook. You off the tee. They're going to take your playbook. You can still play though. What happened? You done. This the playbook. Y'all hadn't learned it. Why are you still on the team? Everybody learn. That's how important that book. Is that book for when you were playing for the Jets? Was that book for the Ravens to have it? Who book that was? That was for the Jets. When you were for the Bears, was that book for San Diego? Who that book was for? And they were looking for Chicago Bears to execute that book. This book we got for the Jews. This book ain't for everybody else. Why we going around wanting to know? Why would you be at New York asking Thomas, why Raven, why y'all don't be doing this book? That ain't our book. That ain't our book. Why you ain't going according? Why y'all ain't play? That ain't our book. Why are we looking for these folks to go? This our playbook. Why are we looking for these people to execute according to our playbook?
Amen.
We don't execute. Guess what happened? God think, well, the NFL think like God did. Same way. We want to execute. Guess what God did? Took the playbook and got us off the team. Didn't he do it? Where you think? Y'all don't think? Where y'all think these sinners get it from? When you don't execute the book, they take the book from you and they get you off the team. You can't even stay there. We didn't execute the playbook. Guess what God did? God took the book and took us out of the lane, got us off the team. That's why we're here. Y'all don't even consider this. If a player won't be on the team there, what he got to do? He got to learn the playbook. That's the way he's going to stay on the team. Y'all don't even realize God let us learn all this about these folks out here, how these people work. Then we come along, we don't consider. Everybody else learn from him. They look at this right here. And you too darn to learn to play. And then, you know what they do? What most people do? If they can't get it, they'll hire somebody to come along and try to teach them the book, won't they? That's what we got here now. You can't learn it for yourself, so God will let you get a teacher. Somebody come in and teach you the book so you can stay on the team. If people would go hire them trainer to train them so they can be ready and get fit for it. Ain't nothing different. That's all I'm trying to do, is get y'all fit for the big game. Y'all didn't realize you're going to get cut. Most of you ain't even going to make the team. You're too fat. I'm talking about spiritually. You're out of shape. You're not conditioned. You don't even know how to play. But why would a man put you in the play? That don't make sense to even put you in the game. You ain't even on the practice squad. Some of y'all just like that fella was sitting there, had that commercial, that fella arguing with them in the locker room. Guy, he kicks a button, knock it down court, then he hugs and cry. Man, the coach walking up to me, who is this guy? He's just a fan, don't walk, then he go off. He just stands there looking at that fella. God, you man. Coach walk in trying to figure out, who is this guy? He's just a fan. That's what happened with the average y'all here under be told, you just a fan with a jersey on. You don't want to just be no fan. You want to actually be on the team. That's why we here. Learn your playbook. Learn how to execute these plays. You already know stuff going to come at you. You already know you're going to be trying. Then let's learn what do we do in the instant when it happens. You already know things going to resonate, come up in your mind. What do we do? What do we do? Cast it down. We already know when somebody come and do something wrong to us, what do we do? Turn to what? The one on your face or the one out in your britches? See, that can be questionable. Turn on the cheek. See that? We got not an answer. Learn the playbook. Well, we know Benjamin's mind said, Lord, he said, I'll repay. That's not our job. But see, we learn the playbook. What I do? Don't try to get over here and do what he's doing. Get back over here. That's not your end. Either you're on defense or offense. Some people can play both ways. Learn where you play at. I guarantee you work better where they want to hire you at. Where you work wrong, you'll wind up messing up, you get somewhere that's not your position. A lot of people think they can quarterback. That's not your position. Shut your mouth, Justin. A lot of things we learn, but this is one of them things where you don't get an opportunity to get in here and make a bunch of mistakes and learn later to get it right. Some mistakes can be critical and it can cost you your life. Some decisions we make in here critical. It's just like on the field. I relate to football, not just because he plays. So you can wind up getting yourself killed or seriously injured getting out here not knowing what you're doing. Not knowing how to tackle, get in here, get your neck broke. Serve us something. Tear up something. It's a lot of things can happen to you. You don't consider how dangerous it is with the word? Every time you put in the play, do you know what can happen? We learn from disobedient people struck down and killed. When a sin was committed, whatever the sin was, if it went contrary to the law, kill them. Let it die. 18th chapter right quick, the book of Numbers, verse 1. Y'all got to go to work tonight. Good. I'm the only man I know, me and a few others, that can work on the Sabbath day and still be blameless.
Amen. Man,
see me say I'm going to work. They said, man, I thought you said you keep the Sabbath. I just add I'm blameless. Ain't that right? Be blameless on the Sabbath. Ain't that right, preachers? They said, I know the Bible said I be working on the Sabbath. They break it up, blameless. Ain't that right? Treated common and blameless. Listen to the book.
And the Lord said unto Aaron,
what did he tell him?
Thou and thy sons
to do what?
And thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood.
Yeah.
And thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father.
So let it go. Number 5 and 1. That's right too. Number 5 and 1. Listen to the book.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
What did he say?
Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, and every one that hath an issue,
Come on.
and whosoever is defiled by the dead.
That's not a pre-concerning law. One man could dish flesh and the skirt of garment just touch porridge or anything. Does it make it clean, brother? You know you can answer that, right? He made us kings and priests. You should know that. That's a concerning law. No. But if one be defiled by a dead body, he touched any of these. Does it make it unclean, brother?
Amen.
So it did, people. Look what they were told to do. Before Haggai even felt, why would Haggai go ask him? Because the prophet already know. He went and asked people, he already knew they knew the answer. That's why it makes sense out of them. We don't know when it makes sense. The Lord sent him, he already knew what the answer going to be. Go ask him, because you know why did he send him to go ask the priest, brother? Because the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should hear the law and what? He a prophet. He already know the Lord. Go ask the priest. Why would God send him any other way? Go ask the priest not concerning the law. Because they should have been people should have made the answer it. And no, there ain't no way in the world, because you Kaddish, and ain't going to make that Kaddish. Well, let me ask you something. If one unclean and he touched any of them, would it make it unclean? Yeah, it's unclean. Because anytime a person defiled by the dead, then they unclean by anything they come, they unclean too. So it did people. His answer, their answer, why not give him his answer, his reply? So is this people. Once they gave him the conclusion to the law, he went and asked them about the law, and they gave him the answer to the law. Yeah, because the law already tell you, if you walk in a man's tent, anybody touch one when they first dead, they unclean. Everything they touch unclean. So he said, well, so is this people. Some they had to sit down and consider. I mean, we dead. I mean, the Lord said that. We answer the law. We wind up finding when we answer, our answer come up to be our condemnation. Listen.
Both male and female.
Both male and female.
Shall ye put out.
Shall you put out.
Without the camp shall ye put them.
Without the camp shall you put them.
That they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell.
Y'all see that now? Wow. He had a reason why he went to Haggai. Haggai to go ask him that, ain't it? Now these priests had to go back and consider what the law told them. Both male and female. You put them without the camp. Revelation chapter 22 and about verse 14. See if about verse 12. Listen to the book.
And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Come on.
For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify.
He put all these folks, so they without. Man, woman, any of them. Any that come contrary to what the law said, you're on the outside. This premise came from where? Came from the law. Man or woman, unclean, whatever, any of these things, it defiled itself, whatever it is, get it out of the camp. Why you think he coming on to let you know he will put all this stuff, let you know all this stuff was outside the camp? He said otherwise it was going to defile the camp. In order to purify, to keep the camp clean, you had to get rid of these people. That's the same way coming on to exterminate people. That's how you kill our behaviors. When we were told to go tear down these altars, quick to burn down these altars, come in and kill these folks, man, woman, and beast, because they defile. You had to take them down. So now when the Lord come along and execute death on us, why do you think he does it? Why do you think he keep you on the outside? Because you're going to defile the camp. So he keep you on the outside of it. He started to let you know who all on the outside. Read it again, who on the outside?
For without are dogs.
You're a dog, Lord, domesticated animal. What else?
And sorcerers.
So what is sorcery, brother? Give me another form of sorcery. Witchcraft. Give me another form of that. How you want to come in there? Rebellion. Told to do something, you don't do it. Sorcerers. You ain't on the inside. Listen, I'm trying to get y'all in. You looking at the illusionist movement. Look at all these moving with warlock, bewitched. You're not talking to these people. He's talking to these folks saying real rebellion. That's at the sin of witchcraft. Listen.
And whoremongers.
Whoremongers.
And murderers.
Murderers. How you be a murderer, brother? Stab? Shoot? Hate your brother how? Murderer. Who was that about? Huh? Cain and Abel. That what it was about? Or was it about Yeshua? He told you in the 15th chapter of the book of St. John, it's written in your law that you hated me. He actually was told he hated their brother without a cause. Huh? Y'all know good well that book ain't about no Cain and Abel. That's about him. The Bible says he's speaking better things than that of Abel. So we can't consider him. They hated him without a cause. That was our brother. Moses told you that the Lord thy God going to raise up like unto me, or who? Brethren. He's going to raise them up from the brothers. Him you should hear. Huh? Come on.
And idolaters.
Oh my God. How you become an idolater? Huh? Stubbornness. Rebellion is witchcraft, and stubbornness at the sin of idolatry. So all you have to do is sit here and be stubborn. You ain't getting in. Now, this is the thing what we found with having a teacher. If I know these are all the products that'll keep me out, why would I partake of these things? If my goal is to get in. If I'm going to sit in here now and I'm going to try to get in, Yeshua told me 7 and 13, he had to go get a book of Matthew. What did he tell me, brother? Do what? Some you don't do that for real while I'm looking at you. What did he say? Enter ye in at the straight gate. Enter ye in at the straight gate. You know why it's going to be straight for? Because look what all you can't do. It's restricted. It's restricted that I can't be homemongering. I can't be rebellious. I can't be stubborn. I can't be an idolater. I can't be a homer. I got to learn how to possess my body in sanctification and in honor. Not in the lust of concubinage, even as the who? What the problem with the Gentiles? They know not God. So they don't know God. They wouldn't know not to do this. A Gentile wouldn't be expected to know this. Why would you be getting mad at a Baltimore Raven fan or a Baltimore Raven player when he don't know the Jets playbook? That would make absolutely no sense. He's not a Jet player. Why would he be looking at a Gentile? He done told you, we don't expect a Gentile not to do this. When I'm talking about a Gentile that doesn't have the teacher or the knowledge of God, why would we expect them to do this or know this? But when we wind up having this information and not doing it, now he's telling us, you just like them. Who else was told that? Who? Peter. By who? Are you correct before I go call something else? Absolutely. He's exactly correct. He told us, we being Jews and not Gentiles and not sinners by nature, live after the manner of the Gentiles. Why compel them to do what, brethren? Be a Jew. Because the behavior he demonstrated, that's the behavior of one of them that don't know God. We're supposed to know. Y'all don't understand how much pressure on us? When you know God, all the pressure is on us, folks. We don't get the opportunity people get. Y'all think it's unreasonable, unfair. That's why he came to give us teachers. To make sure there will be no escape. All your children are going to be taught of me. We're supposed to know these behaviors. We're already supposed to know these people outside because of the law. These folks ain't even got no business in the camp. What's going to happen to get in the camp? A hoe. What's going to happen to a hoe get in the camp of Israel? Ho in July. It's going to be Christmas in July and August. You know what he told? He told us not to prostitute your daughter. What happened? The land going to fall. What's going to happen? You get a prostitute among these fellas. They holding on around here trying to hold out. They done bought that hoe out. That's just being honest. All these things, what you think on how we get an adult than somebody around there rebellious? Paul told her evil communication do what? Awake to what? And sin what? For some, ain't like a Gentile. So in order to do that, you got to get them out. You got to get them out. When Paul talked about it in 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, what did he start telling us about these people? I kind of left it vague. I'm going to see what y'all pick it up. Huh? Beasley going too now. What you got? What did he tell us? I heard him say something. What did he say? He said, levy. He said, whosoever levy the whole law. Yeah, I know he said whosoever did it. I don't y'all. Who cheating? Hayward and Daniel. What did he say? It's reported commonly at 1 Corinthians 5 at verse 4. Y'all all right? We just want to get y'all. Cam, when you going to start answering songs? You've been off today over there. Councilman, man, I'm just holding on. Councilman, man, I'm just here for the word. Hold on, Cam. We're going to be all right. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 5 at verse 4. Listen.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
What happened?
When ye are gathered together, and my spirit,
yeah,
with the power of our Lord Jesus Christ.
What you want me to do?
To deliver such an one unto Satan.
For the what?
Destruction of the flesh.
So what happened?
That the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus.
Pick me up at verse 1. Listen.
It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you.
And what happened?
And such fornication is not so much as named among the Gentiles.
That what happened?
That one should have his father's wife.
Well, but listen.
And ye are puffed up.
Oh, man. What has happened?
And have not rather mourned that he that had done this deed.
That he that had what?
Done this deed.
That he that had done what?
This deed.
Done what?
This deed.
Might what?
Be taken away from among you.
I don't even know what that means. What would that mean? I'm confused, huh? Out the count. See how it makes sense when you know the law? Hearing this, it don't make sense. How it makes sense without the law?
Don't.
He said, y'all sitting around here, y'all good with that stuff? He said, y'all hadn't rather mourn? He said, that person need to be taken out the camp. Where would he get this from? He got it from the law. A New Testament creature quoting the law. Homemonger. He said, man, got no business. They have no business among us. First, Ephesians 5:1. What are we trying to accomplish at the end of the day? At the start of the day and at the end of the day? Being born again. See, before they were old, people think I'm fun when I put people out. You know what I ain't never heard of before? Preachers putting people out. That's not a God. You shouldn't be putting people out. People need to be saved. Come unto me, all you that burden and heavy laden. I'll give you rest. That man said he folk were outside. The law came along. Moses said to put them outside. Paul came along and said that person need to be put from among you, outside the camp. How I said I'm wrong? I come along and put. How many of y'all been member play where the preacher put them out? You remember someone preacher used to do that, kind of? He was slacking. He gave him 3 strikes. He playing better. Wait, I'm saying, you talking about when you really look at it, years ago, how many of y'all had the mind of looking at if you put somebody out that wasn't right? Because people trying to live right. And they ain't saying y'all look. I mean, you figure, why would you put somebody out? If they homongering, if they lying, if they cheating, they defrauding, or whatever, I mean, they need help, don't they? But then we come back to the law, and Paul said, these folks see him puffed up. Man, we going to try to save, keep him in. He said, you ought to be mourning. That person should be taken away from among you. If there's a real love for God, guess what? There's a fear for him. And what happens why people don't change all the time? If you leave people consciously sitting and they not making changes, there's no reason for them to change. What's going to happen if I don't? What's going to happen if I don't? Versus these people had something to consider. They were put out the camp. Get them out of here. He let them know if they sin a sin and enter these things that go against the law and they could tread law, put them out the camp. He let that, because you know what? Somebody else going to sit around and watch and say, well, the Hogan had did. What about when he did it? Now you got a mess. Now you got a mess now. There's going to be 5 more. So I was thinking the same thing. Now he want to do it. Now just use it. All these things that people do. So you know the Lord know because they were black. He know why black people think. James Brown came out, God did it. All them niggas thought they could talk like that. Like, what you say? James Brown messed a lot of black folk, didn't he? Boy, was a lot of greasy, perm-headed niggas boy when James came. That nigga know he could roll his hair. That's all the girl talking monkey stuff. Ooh, 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 say I, ooh, 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 all this stuff, making a fool sound like a done gorilla. A nigga singing French. I can't say the words she was saying. I think she was talking about come have sex with me all there. Ooh, 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 say I, something. Y'all know what I'm talking about, ain't it? How many of y'all remember that song? Sound like a done gorilla.
Yeah.
Nigga can't speak done Hebrew, none of our ladies out here trying to sing in French. That come style, I'm a hoe, I want to have sex. I'm singing in French. Nigga, all pop, robot, don't know what she done said. All they doing is rerunning and stuff. All our nigga needs ought to be broke. That breakdown stuff ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing but the robot. They'll come with somebody ticking. Nigga, you ain't doing but popping. It was popping, we were calling that time it ticking. Some ticking, nigga, that mean the engine knocking. Need to put some oil in it. There ain't no clock. They come get the same old stuff, put a little bit on it, and think they done got something new. They don't even remember Jocko. Y'all remember years ago, Jocko was the first one around that rap. He was the grandpa, he was the father rapping. Y'all don't know Jocko, that's for y'all time. Huh? Now I know young Jock. Jocko way for you. Look him up, Jocko way for you. He's the first one around now. They're like, Jocko, where you been? He said, round the world and back again. That was deep back then. That was serious back then. Mother, y'all good? Mother, you can get yourself together, mother. Y'all all right? That stuff was hot back then. I mean, the same old stuff. Nobody come out, ain't nothing new out here. They don't even know Blowfly was rapping back then. You remember Blowfly? Y'all remember him? He was rapping. Some of y'all ain't got no business remember. You're too done young. Now I'm talking way before Curtis Blow. Yeah, Blowfly was out way before them. Doda Mike, all of them was out way before that. That cussing, rapping stuff, that ain't nothing new. These folks been cussing way back then. They like done got something new. Got here and make a done fool out. They were wrong back then, they wrong now. These folks come, all they do is disguise, and then folks think they got something new. They like these skinny pants. Man, the Rat Pack been wearing that stuff, skinny suit. But they ain't got nothing new. Tell the Rat Pack had that stuff out Dean Martin on them niggas. Them still had on this skinny suit. Sammy Davis, they think, man, that thing in style. This stuff done been in and out. Tweed coat, the mall had that stuff back in the early 1910. Nigga ain't got nothing new. I'm telling you, ain't nothing new under the sun. All this stuff go out and come right back in and make a fool out. Make you think you got something new. The same old junk. Only thing that's still standing that's new is obeying the book, because folks ain't done that yet. That's the truth. That's the only thing new. Obey that. You do it, obey. You know what they say? I ain't never heard that before. You be like, you ain't lying. Before one of these little funky cars, all this other stuff, but man, stuff been out. Ain't nothing these folks doing right here. Don't let these folks make no fool out here and drag you to hell, folks. This is the newest thing out, because the folks ain't doing it. It's the oldest and the newest thing out here. Now, we got an opportunity to sit down, obey this book, and get it right before you leave here and quit being a done fool. Being these folks experimental done guinea pig, being stupid. Y'all done gave up too much. Some of you moving and everything you gave up in marriages, had to deny yourself of stuff. Then you gonna say and go to hell on a major technicality. Ain't no minor infraction. Everything is major. Stop thinking everything is some little oopses or something. Get your mind set on obeying the book. Something that man tell you none of these people gonna get in. That's why he told John when he saw him, he gave him a measure. They told him to measure the temple and the bread and the height of it. He started measuring, told him, don't measure that. The Gentiles gonna be there. All right, let you call them dogs. How we know he talking about Gentiles and he talking about dogs? Because Jesus told the Canaanite woman, he wasn't taking the children bread and give it to no dogs. So up here let nobody make no fool of. He call them four dogs. He looking at a Gentile. Lord, anybody want to obey God? Well, you're a Lord domesticated number. And then a woman got nerve, dread like a hoe, don't obey no Satan. Who you calling a bee? You. Woo-woo. I'll stick one of them doing little milk chuck bones in her mouth. Every one of these hoes. Tell me I see no dog. You disobeying the doing book. Man say you're a dog. That's amazing how many women get called the B word. Your mama one probably is. You, but right now you need to be barking. I ain't talking about my mama. I'm talking about. What I'm saying, if folks say that. Go to a commercial right quick. Carry Dan, watch. Carry, give me a damn. No, I'm just saying the folks say that. Now we talking about, you know, good way your mama ain't saying that. That's what I'm talking about now. These folks sit around here, they ain't gonna try to throw that stuff out. And then the sad part, woman don't even know she won. The doing male one too. And then the woman call her man, nigga, I'm a dog. That's how I am. And the sad part, you told the truth. You a Jew, that's a you don't call no Jew no dog. He would have never told no Jew they were no dog. That's what you call a Gentile. Somebody, the Lord domesticated animal. They beneath a Jew. Everything beneath a Jew. If you ain't, that's why it's imperative that you convert and become a Jew. Look at all the variables. What do you got on the other end if you're not on this side? The man, then you know everything on the outside. It's all the same thing. Separation, what we got to look at. What we got to separate from? From who? I can't hear you. That's going to be self. That's a form of dying. Separate from yourself. Every one of us. That's what I want y'all to sit down and look at. I want you to do another list for me. A list of things that you know are an infraction. Things that you know that are contrary to God. And yet those are the things that you tend to lean to, desire, and want, and you wind up going to. It's one thing that things on the outside can attract. They can try to persuade. It's up to you to allow it to do the seducing. It's up to you. Just like with Adam, it was all his choice. That's Bible. With the woman, what was she, brother? Adam was not deceived. It was all his choice. He had an opportunity to choose. Just like he told the children of Israel, like he told Adam, choose. You got these tree and you got this tree. Choose. You got all this over here or you going to throw it away for this. Adam had made a choice. Everybody in here, you got a choice you got to make for yourself. You going to throw it all away or you going to stand for God. Finish the 5th chapter of the book of Ephesians. I'm going to let them go. I know I called that Galatians 3 and left here at 1 Peter chapter 2 at verse 1. Don't worry about it. You can let them go tonight. And Deuteronomy chapter 30 about verse 17. You can go ahead and let them go tonight. Wonderful Savior, though.
Amen.
Listen to the book.
Be ye therefore followers of God,
And
dear children,
how you want to walk, son?
and walk in love.
That's going to be the spirit. Because you love me, what you going to do?
Keep my commandments.
He told you the words I speak in you, they are what, brother?
Spirit.
And they are what?
Life.
So when he spoke the commandment to the children of Israel, he was speaking spirit. That was spirit and that was life. That was life. He told them to choose. Told them they didn't do it, they were going to surely perish. That was life. Listen.
As Christ also hath loved us,
And
hath given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God.
so if he gave himself for an offering and a sacrifice, and what do you usually give as a sacrifice? Something living or something what? Something dead. So he had to die in order to be a sacrifice. What did they say about everybody else? Everybody else was dead. So he gave himself for an offering and a sacrifice for a
sweet smelling savor.
See what kind of Savior he is? Wonderful Savior. That's right, aroma. We know he had incense. These things are things y'all got the key to. Y'all were going to go, they were like, yes, he is. That's right, he is. But this is not what they're talking about. This says savor, which is the aroma. The purpose of when you were offered a sacrifice, it was the aroma. They had incense they had to make. The apothecary told them they would make up, they would mix. We had all these different things. Fragrances, cologne. We had that stuff. We didn't get this stuff from these people over here. No French invented no darn perfume. Them stinking niggas. Put all that darn stuff on, ain't took no bath. They were using toilet water. I don't know where we going to mess the corona. Call it toilet. You don't go in no toilet and get no water. Dogs do that. Oh, you talking, what you do all that toilet water? You don't put no darn toilet water. They thought you smell like a mess. I'm around telling you, I got some toilet water. You nasty. Got that toilet. Listen to the book.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints.
Why wouldn't you want this to be named among you? Huh? you're going to be put out the camp. If it was named among you, you were going to be put out the camp. Hold you got again, Numbers 5 and 1. All these are things to consider now. Numbers 5 and 1. Listen to the book.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. Both male and female shall ye put out. Without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell.
Y'all see that? He look at Hebrew down. I dwell down. You know what he wasn't going to do? He wasn't going to dwell among the unclean people.
That's right.
Listen what he told you back at the 5th chapter, book of Ephesians. Where you left out, verse 3?
Verse 4.
Them 3, they'll be all right.
Amen.
Listen.
But fornication,
Rather, fornication,
and all uncleanness,
all uncleanness, come on,
or covetousness,
or covetousness,
let it not be once named among you,
as
becometh saints.
you're being born again, becoming, that will be the start of something. As newborn babes, being born again, shouldn't be named among you one time. Listen.
Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking,
Nor,
jesting,
which are what?
not convenient,
But rather,
giving of thanks.
for this
Ye know,
that no,
whoremonger,
wow, nor,
unclean person,
who is a what?
nor covetous man,
Who is a what?
an idolater,
An idolater, hath what?
any inheritance,
In the kingdom of who?
Christ,
And who else?
and of God.
Couldn't. Because he was already commanded to put them out. Knowing the law, what Paul said, and like Luke said, we ought to have perfect understanding from the beginning. These sinners, when they read this, Paul, I'm glad you brought him up. Paul wasn't right himself. I mean, every time Paul come along, man, I told you, it touching the law, brother. Man, something blameless. Touching the law, blameless. I don't know what concerning the law. He said, blame the man coming on telling what the law said. No, you know. He said, this ye know, because the law would have taught us. Who would he been talking to saying you know this? Not Chris Tucker. And you know this, man. He been talking to Jews. Jews that would have known the law, that know there is no way I can be a whoremonger, an unclean person, an idolater. I can't be anything and have any inheritance in the kingdom of the Mashiach and of Yah. No way possible. We know that because we know God is faithful to his word. He's a stricter for his word. You guys don't believe it. You guys don't believe it. You got to walk in love. When he told you a newborn baby desire the sincere milk of the word, which would have been the pure milk, pure, that you can grow thereby, the spirit. For us, that's what we got to ingest now. That's got to be out. That's what he told you. Man should not live by bread what? That's why he wasn't talking about no bread. He was talking about the pure milk. He was talking about the spirit. Because this is how we live. Your operation should change. How you live now is going to be, most of your consumption is food. Breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. Snack, all through the night. That's how you live. Ain't no spirit. Hamburger helper at 3 in the morning, ain't no snack. Just stop it. But you know what? Being calm, a lot of times, this is why we will be fasting again more. Because we got to start changing how we do things. In order to get all of us on the same page, and especially possessing the spirit, there's got to be a change. Getting away from it changes our restriction. Right now, the way we're restricted from God, not restricted from sin. We're restricted from God because there are things we can't put away. There's no break. There's no change. The only time we break for a fast is when the year comes when he put us on atonement. That breakage come in to show us that's a lie you got to eat in order to live. So you can consist by more, you can live by more than man live 40 days, 40 nights without a drip of water or a piece of bread. Man, let's know I'm only living by the word.
Amen.
That which we've done for so many years, we really hadn't had to understand. Understand, it's the purpose of showing you don't have to put so much in the living of the flesh, because that's not actually how you exist.
Amen.
You exist by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. God is a spirit, so what God going to be speaking? So then the spirit is going to be our conductor. The spirit is going to be our regulator. The spirit is our orator. That's our speech. That's our gathering together. It's going to be the word.
Amen.
So we got to change what we're doing. If there's going to actually be a change inside of you, you're not going to get a change. You're still doing the same thing. Look how we coming on now. We change the Sabbath. We change what we do on the Sabbath. You know what happens? If there's a real love and a real earnestness toward God, God's going to give you information. God's going to come in and just change things and let you know, this you got to change. Amen. If you're trying to get somewhere with me, there's got to be a difference. Even some things, like I say, all things can be lawful. All things just not expedient. All things don't edify. So we come to a point of realizing there's got to be a change. We got to start putting off and putting on. You can't put on Christ when you got the world. Something's got to come off. Something's got to come off in order to put on Christ. That's what we learning. So there's some people, there's some things, there's some behavior, there's some speech, there's some places we got to put off. And we don't worry about how people are going to look. That's the common part, and that's the flesh. How people going to look at us, how people going to take us, what people going to say. They already said we extremely. They already said we going too far. They already said it don't make sense. It should make sense to them because it's not their way. In the 32nd chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, they said our rock is not their rock.
Amen.
Even our enemy being witness against them. These people ain't got the same rock we got. One of us could chase 1,000, meaning two can chase how many? Tell them mathematically how they come up with that. If two chase 10,000, mathematically that means each one of them chase 5,000 apiece. You can't do math on them. Put three together, you don't even know the number. Don't get 100 of us. Bust your doing calculator. One chase 1,000, two put 10,000 in flight. See, they'll start thinking, I already know the next number. That's because you're an idiot. You know, God, our numbers don't add up the way your numbers add up. And they're right, it's different. Two put 10,000 in flight. That's what we get when we trust in the living God. When we sit here, I trust in He told you, cursed is the man whose arm is his strength. Y'all sit here, y'all don't realize I've been guilty of it. I have been very guilty in the fact of my arm being my strength. How many of y'all been guilty of it? That's why God stopped us. That's why God stopped us. Been guilty. Don't even realize I cursed that man. God cursed us. Because you know what happened? What's different with us and them? That's how they do it. If I don't get out and get it, it ain't going to get done. I got to go make it happen. Is that how it works? Is that how it works? Or I let you?
Amen.
God said, I allow. That's what
Amen.
we had to learn this. It's so much time I would have counted to myself I done. That's why God cut me short. That's why God stopped stuff, give me high blood pressure, snatch you out. Man, you let me tell you something. I tell you, son, I get it. I make it happen. I do it. And not realizing some of that saying, some of it in expression, some of it was actually, it was me. Whether I was conscious of it or not, I didn't realize of what I'm saying. I actually looked at it was me. I was doing it. So when you see what Michael Jordan said, a lot of us have been guilty in a lot of fakes. And now we come into the knowledge of learning this stuff. It's just the grace of God. Learn to teach us tomorrow. I say, I'm going to get with you next week. They say, what you going to do again? Who you going to get with next week? If the Lord's will. James said we ought to say it.
Amen.
Man, Ron, I got that kind of thought. I got that kind of power. I can do that. December I'm going to get with you, man. You going to go somewhere. I'm going to take you somewhere in December. I can do that. He said here like, you can do that in December? Wow. I didn't even know you could do all that. Simple as it sounds, and we do. We take stuff for granted. We say, we'll look to change that. Because we'll say, if the Lord's will.
Amen.
James said we ought to say it. We're going to do dust and soul? No. If the Lord's will. Because we don't be careful. Guess what? Little things that we don't think nothing about. James commanded for a reason. That make me stop and consider. I can't do nothing without God.
Amen.
Listen, and some of that might sound, I'm going to get with you next week, next month. I go and start making a whole calendar plan, and God ain't nowhere in the equation. And you know, he told her what kind of God he said he was. That'd be like my kid going to tell some folk what they going to go do. Y'all going to come stay, y'all going to go stay. I'm be sitting there looking at them talk saying, they nigga go. And a parent, what you going to be sitting doing? Who you gonna need to talk to before you do all that? Who gonna have to let you do that? Well, I got a father too.
Amen.
He sat around, he hear me talking.
Amen.
What I'm gonna do and where I'm gonna go.
Amen.
Right, quick. Sit at the 31st chapter of the book of 31st chapter of the book of Isaiah, verse 1. Try to let them go. So they can go. Some of these folks got to go to work tonight.
Amen. That's right.
Some of them going to wake up when I get finished. Well, I let out some of the saints. Oh, they going to be fired up and go, got. Laugh all the way from the butthole. Smell nothing but mess. Man, anything ought to wake us up and make us alive ought to be the word. Well, that's a lot of laughing. It is. Listen.
Isaiah 31.
At 1, listen.
Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses.
Well, warn to who now?
Them
that go well?
Down to Egypt for help.
And do what?
Stay on horses.
And do what?
Trust in chariots.
Why?
Because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong.
Yeah.
But they look not unto the Kodesh one of Israel.
Wow. That's so. Everybody know Egypt was strong. If you want to go do something, you wanted some people to back you up, you want to go get them Egyptian at one time. Boy, it was a Rome, Greece, any folk. Boy, it was the Babylonians, any folk. Egypt stood and ruled. Egypt was power. Egypt was strength. And here we were. Who you think he was talking about? Whoa, that's destruction. To them that go. So who he was talking? The Gentile that were going down there to Egypt? Talking to us. We're going to Egypt. Listen what happened.
Neither seek the Lord.
Neither seek the Lord.
Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words.
Y'all hear that? God said he wise. And guess what he said I ain't going to do? Now, if you go down to Egypt, when I told you not to now, I ain't going to call back my word. Until a sword done gone out. It ain't coming back void. If you went to Egypt, I put the sword out for anybody that went into Egypt. Anybody that went back into Egypt, I sent the sword out for them. So now if you decide to go down to Egypt and get on horses and trust them because they're many, and you didn't look unto me, my word going to come get you now. As Zechariah, did not my word take hold of them? Listen.
But will arise against the house of the evildoers.
You're evildoer. God told you not to go to Egypt. So you got a father. What happened, son?
And against the help of them that work iniquity.
He said, against the help of them that work iniquity. What happened, son?
Now the Egyptians are men.
And not what?
God.
Their horses what?
Flesh.
And not?
Spirit.
So I don't know why you were trusting in them. Paul told you in 1 Timothy 4:1 that the horses speak especially. Is that why he let you know? Their horses are flesh and not spirit. Now what's going to happen, Isaiah?
When the Lord shall stretch out his hand.
See that? With loving kindness have I drawn thee. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand.
Both he that helpeth shall fall.
And what else?
He that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together.
Now you're going to wind up getting the Egyptians killed. See, we were already told what we were supposed to do. What were we supposed to look to, brother? The rock from which we hewn? That's a good one. What are we supposed to do? What we were told we were supposed to look? Huh? Look to the hill. Look unto the hill and be ye saved. Isaiah chapter 8 at verse 19. Put a confirmation on this thing. This is Isaiah chapter 8 at verse 19. See it, Ryan? Listen to the book.
And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits.
And unto who?
Wizards that peep.
That mutter. Same jump. Yeah, boom. Well, I don't even know what that means. Come on.
And that mutter.
And that mutter. Listen what he said.
Should not a people seek unto their God?
What happened?
Should not a people seek unto their
I
God?
will lift up mine eyes to the hill, which cometh my help. That's the truth, though. Come on.
For the living to the dead.
For the what?
Living to the dead.
What was he saying, brother? Huh? What he said? That's right. He was trying to say the living not supposed to look to the dead. He's talking about from the living to the dead. Ain't no dead. How the dead gonna look to the Lord? That don't make no sense. He was trying to tell us the difference. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would you be living looking at something that's dead? That way it makes sense. He looked to Christ. He was still dead. Even Paul even tried to tell us in 1 Corinthians 15 chapter, if Christ hadn't risen, he said, we are all men most miserable. Isn't that right? He told us, let her eat it. If it be no resurrection, let her eat and drink. He said, tomorrow we die. He said, that made absolute no sense when you get up. You got to believe. I believe Christ died. You're an idiot. You got to get on the he rose.
Amen.
Get away from that going to no tomb. He ain't not dead. I ain't told you. Why seek the living among the who? Why would I go to the grave every so-called Easter? That's dumb. They were cut out the first time they came.
Amen.
He ain't here. He risen.
Amen.
There should not a people seek to where?
Unto their God.
Unto where?
For the living to the dead.
Listen.
To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word.
It is what?
Because there is no light in them.
That's why we know darkness. That's how we know they're not of God. He said, by their fruit you shall know them. Why would that be important? He talking about light. How do we associate that to light? Huh? Because I can't hear you. He said it was good. What am I looking to? Who? A light is sprung up? Huh? What you say, Justin? I'm trying to look down. There's no light. Everything sprung from light? No chance of stumbling in the night. Counsel, I got to get something. Counsel, before it ends, Brother Mike, I don't know. I think I hear that one. Huh? He said they speak not according to this what now?
If they speak not according to this word.
His mic cut off. If they speak not
according to this word.
It is because
there is no light in them.
If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no
light in them.
No light in them. In Genesis, we learned the 12th, in Genesis 1 and by 12, what we learned about this stuff. Its seed is in itself. All the other lights were created from the one light. The moon, God said he made the greater light, and he made the moon. And what does it say he made? Say he also made the stars. Which means everything would have stemmed off from them. So we can automatically tell, ain't no light on them. They never stem from them. And there's no productivity in them. That's what we look at. He said ain't no light in them. Y'all all right?
Amen.
Come on back to that 5th chapter right quick. I'm going to let them go. Ephesians. Lord, this we do the Lord's will. Say, I'm going to let them go and think I got that power and authority. This we do the Lord's will. Ephesians 5. We'll start implementing our speech, getting back to it. It's easy for us to get away from things. We say the Lord's will.
Amen.
Listen. 5, where you left out 7?
At verse 6.
Listen.
Let no man deceive you with vain words.
But what happened?
Let no man deceive you with vain words.
But because
of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience.
That's what you think gonna happen to them? They was on the outside.
Blood.
What you think gonna happen to them? They was on the outside. See, now we got to think about it. He said, "Don't let nobody deceive you with vain words." It's all right to be on the outside, baby. That don't mean the Lord don't love you. Sometimes we have to be outside. He said, "Don't let nobody deceive you with no vain word." Because of these things, the wrath of God comes upon the children of disobedience. He said, "I, the Lord, dwell in the midst of you." I want these people on the outside so they won't defile. So what you think I'm going to do if I put them on the outside? I'm going to destroy these people. Don't let nobody sit around and make no fool out of y'all. Y'all think y'all can be these people and still be the people of God. Don't be stupid. He's saying, don't let nobody make no fool out of you. Because of these very actions, these things, he said, come the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Which means they couldn't be children of disobedience if they didn't know what they had to be, if they didn't know what they were supposed to do. They were children that knew what they were supposed to do and they didn't do it. They whoremonger, they committed idolatry, they sat around and committed witchcraft, they sat around and did these things, and God put them outside the camp so he could destroy them. Don't be stupid. That's good, brother. Thank the Lord.
Amen. Amen.